This episode of Nerds Gone Rogue is brought to you by Killers. All John ever wanted was to be normal, but the grisly murder of his parents when he was just a child left something terrible brewing inside him. John was a killer, a fact he'd accepted as he now lived on the streets, looking for a place he belonged in this world. On a night that seemed like fate, while on a train heading west, a stranger intervenes as John is on the verge of his most recent crime. His name is Professor James Conrad, and he asks John to come live with him and a group of young serial killers he has taken under his wing. Together they search for a purpose in their murderous ways. It isn't long after a new sadistic serial killer begins to terrorize Seattle, and throwing a wrench into all they are trying to accomplish. Time seems to be running out for the group to find the answers they are searching for. Where will they go? What is their purpose? And with the killing closing in, who will survive the night? Written by C. Benjamin Doyle, Killers is available now on Amazon and Amazon Kindle. Get your copy today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Arsenal X podcast. As always, we throw up the X because we're about to throw down.
You could say we're throwing up the PAX.
PAX, yes! I'm your host, Eddie B, and joining me is Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig.
I'm here, woo! I made it,
Yes.
I survived.
You survived. This is a special episode because Corey was at PAX 2018 and he got a lot of video game coverage. So if you guys want to hear a lot of stuff about Nintendo, go check out World 11 podcast and check out Nintendo Pop Block. But Corey also played some Xbox games and he's going to give us the info on what he played. So Corey, what did you play at PAX 2018 for Xbox?
Yeah, I played a few things for Xbox. A lot of the games I played were more Nintendo specific for PAL Block, and Xbox didn't really have a very big booth. But I did play a few things for Xbox. I played State of Decay 2, which is Xbox's kind of big game for May. Mm-hmm. I was pretty impressed. I was really, really impressed by State of Decay. It was running. I want to clarify first. All the games I played except for Below for Xbox were running on either a dev kit or a gaming PC. They had some issues with the Xbox One X's they brought, and so they had to set up gaming PCs for us to play on. Now, with that said, State of Decay 2 I didn't really play a lot of State of Decay 1. I know it had a lot of good ideas, but they weren't completely fleshed out because of budget and the engine and timing and stuff. But State of Decay 2 feels a lot like Gears of War meets Fortnite or PUBG, kind of like just the way it works, like the third person shooting and the looting and kind of craft. Like, we weren't allowed to craft anything. That was like the one thing that was out the window, but there is a crafting system, so you are collecting materials to craft things in this game. It felt really, really good. The shooting felt really good. Not quite as good as something like Gears, but good enough to where, like, if a zombie's running at you and you have a shotgun and you blow their face off, it feels really good. We were in a co-op session, and we started out in this kind of warehouse looking area, and we were kind of walking around this warehouse, and we were kind of traveling down the road, and there were some zombies. There's some cool melee weapons that you could use, but we were wielding shotguns, which was even better. But if you use a shotgun, you got to be careful because the other zombies can hear you, and they will come after you, and they are fast. They're not the slow moving zombies from Resident Evil. They are fast. I had to like sprint away from one, and it caught up to me to the point where my friend had to like shoot him off of me. That's how fast they are. The looting feels really good. There's a mechanic where like, okay, I need food, so I'm opening this fridge, right? Well, you can open this fridge at a normal pace, and there's a timer, but there's also like the X button in the middle, and if you press X, you make more noise, but you loot the place faster. So like, I was looting everything as fast as I could, and like the zombies heard us, and we were running away from the zombies. But you get these flashbangs, which will like make noise other places to distract zombies from following you. So we found a way to like, okay, we're gonna loot this house, but we're gonna throw flashbangs over at that house, so the zombies start running over there. And once we see them kind of climb over the fence or go through like the openings or whatever to check out the area, we would go into this other house and shut all the doors and loot the area. And then my friend had the bright idea to get a car, started the car, and every zombie in the area started moving towards this car, and I'm like, you better wait for me. So I got in the car, and he, those big fat ones with like the green acid?
Yeah.
He decides to try to run one of those over to the point where like it exploded on our car, but that meant our car was covered in poison and acid, to the point where we had to dive out Grand Theft Auto style and like, run to the next area, right? And so,
and the funny thing about that is that part is in like the trailer of last year's E3.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, stay away from him.
Yeah. So like we dove out of the car and like we got into this area where there were a ton of zombies. And like, but we found a lot of loot, but we had to take on this encampment of zombies, and like this would have been helpful if we had like two other players to like, okay, you two are going to loot this area while the other two kind of fend off the zombies, and then we're going to kind of fortify this. We're going to set up camp here, and kind of this will be our first main kind of base thing. But then we just started shooting zombies and stuff and taking them out, and at that point we were just overwhelmed and the demo ended. But like, it felt really good to play, and like I know if people have Game Pass, sorry Ed, I know if people have Game Pass, you're gonna get this game anyways, but like,
I'm buying it. I'm buying this game physically.
But like,
a question I have to ask before you go, I'm sorry, did it have melee combat in it?
Yeah, there's a lot of cool melee weapons. There's wrenches, there's axes, there's shovels, there's I think you can find like swords and stuff at some point.
I wonder if does it have a degradation like Breath of the Wild? Like if you attack it too many times, it breaks.
I think so, but we were using guns the whole time. Like I only used the wrench like twice, and it didn't break. But you can find backpacks to carry more items with you. So that was cool. That was a cool mechanic. Like I said, we couldn't do any of the crafting or anything. It was all kind of grayed out, and we couldn't really explore that aspect of it. But it was cool. It's definitely It's definitely a game that you're gonna want to play with friends. It's definitely that. But you can definitely tell like they got a bigger budget from the last game. The shooting feels really good. The graphics are great. The environment looks amazing. It's going to be a lot deeper than people realize, I think, too. Especially with the new crafting stuff, like it's going to be like deeper than like Dead Rising style crafting, to where you can start putting together vehicles and stuff, I think. So, yeah, it was cool. State of Decay was really cool, and I can't wait to see more of it. It's not really my type of game, but I know Jesse's really excited for it, which, sadly he couldn't really be here right now. We'll talk about it more when we record with him next, but
yeah,
State of Decay 2 looks cool.
Yeah. And everybody check out Squad Goals. We'll probably be doing State of Decay 2 like in the future. I know me and Jesse are going to be playing State of Decay, the first one.
Mm-hmm. Which I still need to get him the information for the Twitch channel so we can just transfer it over. But Xbox wise. PUBG. I was playing the quote unquote version that's gonna be like the done version for Xbox. Again, running on a gaming PC, so I don't really know how accurate it's gonna be to the Xbox One X version of the game, but I like because Jesse and I have been playing Fortnite a lot, and like I really enjoyed the battle royale portion of Fortnite a lot, and so my other friend that was with us is really into PUBG. I was like, well, let's do some duos, and we ended up doing some duos, and it's a lot more tactical than Fortnite is. I as soon as we landed, like I found a submachine gun and a helmet as soon as we landed. We went through this church and we found someone. We kind of ran away from them though, and they kind of ran away from us. So it was running really smooth. Like when you jump out of the plane, it's rough, but as soon as you hit the ground, like it's smooth. It's really smooth, and it feels a lot like Gears. The shooting feels a lot like Gears.
Oh wow!
Even down to like the reticle. You know how when you're playing with the shotgun, it has a little square reticle with a dot in the middle.
Yeah.
In Gears, it's the Gears reticle, except it's white instead of red. So, it felt a lot like Gears. And then we were kind of looting the area, moving towards the circle, and we saw a team of two. And we were like gonna sneak up on them, and they started shooting at us, and we started shooting back. And like I was kneeling and I was shooting them, and my friend ran in front of me, and I ended up killing him on accident by friendly fire. But yeah, PUBG runs really well. I was actually pretty impressed because, we talk a lot about it on the show, and none of us had really played it before.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I want to see what this game is like because we've been playing Fortnite so much. And it doesn't run nearly as smooth as Fortnite, but it's because Fortnite's running at 60 frames a second, has a cartoon art style, like which really fits for that game. But if you want a more tactical, kind of military-esque, more kind of, realistic is not really the word I want to use, but more militarized shooter, tactical battle royale game, PUBG is good. Like it's still really good, and I enjoyed it. So and I actually ended up signing up for the preview version of it because I want to play it here at home. So yeah, PUBG was solid. They brought rumblings around the booth was that they had Crackdown ready to go, but then they ended up not bringing it because the devs thought it wasn't ready to go. So they ended up bringing Sea of Thieves instead, which we've played Sea of Thieves. There's a 4-hour video of it if you want to watch us mess around with it. But it was cool to see people start playing Sea of Thieves and kind of getting a feel, which I think Sea of Thieves needed that at PAX. I think it needed what was happening because there was a bunch of 9 to 12-year-olds, I think I would say, and maybe a little bit younger playing it. And it was cool to see like the kids having fun playing pirates and going on voyages and stuff. And I think, it's gotten kind of some negative feedback recently, and I think this was good for people to get their hands on it, I should say. So, yeah. But the Below is kind of like the last big kind of quote unquote Xbox exclusive, though they said it's Xbox first, not Xbox exclusive. The dev told me. So I don't know what's changed. I don't know what's happening, but we could see it make its way to other platforms at some point. But Below, I took a lot of notes on Below. It has amazing music and sound design, and it's not like overpowering music. It's just kind of soft, whimsical music, and you can hear the waves crashing in the background with some music behind the waves. The demo starts with you getting off of a boat, and you're kind of wandering this beach, and then you see a fire that needs lit. So you light the fire. Yes. There's like 3 or 4 pieces of fish lying around the fire. And I don't know if this game's procedurally generated or not, but like it seems like a game that could be. And so like I lit the fire, I cooked the fish and put it in my inventory, and I start roaming the beach. And I find this pathway up onto this cliff, and I'm wandering the cliff, and then I find this kind of what would you call it, like a shrine type thing, not like a Zelda shrine that you could go into, but more of like a statue with like a light on it. And I interacted with it, and I got this light kind of power. I wouldn't really call it a power, but it was kind of like it does something to you. I didn't get that far to see what it actually does, but you collect these little
like abilities.
Yeah, well, I think it's like currency you can spend on abilities or something.
Okay.
So I found this other cavern, and I went into this cavern, and I'm walking through it, and it's just kind of like a really imagine a top-down, really simple exploratory version of Zelda.
Yeah.
Where like there's light puzzles that you need to solve, but they're not very hard. You're kind of wandering through, fighting these simple enemies with your sword and shield. And then you have to manage your food and water mechanic. Well, my water was getting low, so I found a fountain and filled it with water, and I stored it, and you have to. It's like if Zelda had like a survival mechanic to it, which I know Breath of the Wild kind of does, but this is more like Don't Starve. I think I would compare it to, where like you need to keep eating and drinking to stay alive, as well as like fight off enemies and make sure they don't kill you that take your health down. So, exploration is kind of really stress-free. Like you can just kind of go anywhere you want without having to worry about giant enemies coming down and hunting you down. The dungeons are pretty elaborate. There's a lot of exploration in the dungeons. Like the one dungeon I found had like 5 exits to it that took you to different areas of the map.
Yeah.
And then there's actually like an objective inside the dungeon that you can do or not do, whatever. And I was kind of doing that before my demo ended. But I'm kind of unsure how the food and water mechanic work exactly. Like I know you can cook the food and you have to eat the food, but I don't know if you can like mix it together or if you eat raw fish, if it makes you sick, like that kind of stuff. I just assumed you had to cook the fish, so I cooked it.
I'm assuming, you had to cook the fish.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Yeah. I did talk to the dev a little bit. The devs were there, and they seemed like really nervous about the game. And I was like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but when I saw it, like I'm seeing it now versus when I saw it last, it looks a lot cleaner and a lot more fluid. And he's like, yeah, we upgraded everything to 4K assets. Everything runs at 60 frames. Like we upgraded the soundtrack a little bit. Like everything was just meant to run more fluid and brighter. And the color palette they used was really cool. I got a below pin too. Like it's just like a little pin. It just says below on it, but it was cool.
Nice.
So, and I gave him our business card where I'm going to try to get them on here after convention season. He said the game's coming out real soon. They don't have an exact date to tell me yet, but like it's soon because they didn't want to show it till it was pretty much done. They're just kind of cleaning it up.
Okay.
It was cool though. Below, really strong.
I'll definitely would pick it up, give it a try. So, of course, be ready for the interview. But I do want to play this. It sounds interesting to me.
Yeah,
And I'm
definitely.
good with that.
Definitely one of the games where I was like, I don't really know how I'm gonna like this, and I came out of it being like, okay, I get it. I like what I played. I think it's awesome. So, let's see what else. What else can I talk about here? There was Pit People from the Behemoth, the people who made Castle Crashers. Their next game, I played about 5 minutes of it, but like. The system crashed and I didn't really get a feel for what it was. But like it's like a strategy game almost, like a hexagonal strategy game instead of a grid-based one. Cool art style, cool like sound effects and music and stuff, but I couldn't get into it because I didn't get to play it because the system crashed on me. But it's definitely not Castle Crashers. So like, I mean, it's not Alien Hominid or Castle Crashers or even Battle Block Theater. It's a strategy game, and I give them credit for trying something different, but I know a lot of people still want Castle Crashers 2 or whatever, so definitely something you could probably look into and judge for yourself. But I mean, we talked a lot about on Nintendo Battle Block a lot of the stuff that's also coming to Xbox One. Soul Calibur 6 I played a little bit of. It feels like a simpler version of Soul Calibur, way more deliberate and defensive than previous Soul Caliburs, which is kind of strange for a weapon-based game. The characters look great, like the animations and stuff look really fluid, and this, they did say this was a demo build, which I get, but like the characters looked amazing, but the environment still looked kind of unfinished. I mean, they looked like, okay, this is what we're going for this level, and like the assets were there, but the lighting didn't feel right, or like the assets didn't feel clean. So that was cool. Like, it felt really good to play. I was just like, I played one match. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's Soul Calibur. I'm not, unless they bring it to Switch and Link's in it, like, I'm not interested, to be honest. So, on Power Block, we talked a lot about Travis Strikes Again, which is coming to Xbox also. It's really cool. If you like top-down kind of action, stylized action games with cool combos and really cool art style and graphics, like, Travis Strikes Again is awesome. The combos kind of feel like a top-down version of like the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games. The combo switching from enemy to enemy feels really smooth and clean. So it was cool. Let's see, anything else for Xbox? I think the Messenger is coming to Xbox. Did they confirm that that's coming to Xbox?
That I don't know. Only just know that it's a Switch exclusive at the moment.
Yeah. We talked about Shaq Fu. Honestly, unless you bought it on if you bought NBA Playgrounds on Switch and you're getting it for free, like, if you're anywhere near interested in that game, wait for a sale. If not, like, honestly, I wouldn't waste your money. It was very bland and kind of boring, to be honest with you. Like, there was no enemy diversity in the 20 minutes that I played. There was 2 types of enemies and a mini boss that, like, it was just, I played it for 20 minutes and I only found 2 types of enemies and a mini boss. So I don't know if that tells you anything. Let's see, I think that's about it for Xbox. Shovel Knight. Played Shovel Knight King of Cards. I let off on Pal Block with Shovel Knight, but I want to talk about it here too, because I played the Xbox version as well. It's very fun. The animations look great. The new dash mechanic for King Knight feels really good to use, whether you're attacking enemies or trying to maneuver through the world. Like, if you it kind of adds like a wall jump almost. It's fun, man. I love it. The card game is really interesting. I don't know how deep I'm going to get into the card game, but there's 3 kind of hub worlds in Shovel Knight. I didn't really get into this on Power Block, did I? There's 3 world maps. It's almost 3 times.
You spoke about this on Power Block.
Oh, okay. Well, there's 3 kind of world maps that you get to explore as opposed to Shovel Knight's 1 world map. And then the hub is the castle. And your goal is to, as you progress through these world maps, the higher your reputation gets for you to become king, right? And so your goal is to kind of do a world takeover, and beating the different levels in the worlds help you achieve that, as well as playing the card game and building your deck and stuff. So King Knight's going to be awesome. I think it might be the best campaign yet, just based off the 2 kind of small levels that I played. So I did play the Xbox version and the Switch version. So yeah, it's awesome. Shovel Knight King of Cards is definitely the game I'm most looking forward to.
Yes.
On what we just talked about. But as opposed to Xbox stuff, like, that's kind of it. I mean, they didn't have a very big presence at PAX, and the games they did show were their games. So
yeah,
I mean, they had DayZ was there, in the Xbox booth. I didn't really play it though. It looked interesting enough, but I mean, whatever. And then there's a motocross game called Descendants there as well. I don't really know anything about it, but
Yeah, and me and Corey had a discussion on World War One podcast that they're probably gearing up for E3 at this moment because like that is in 2 months and that's a lot of preparation that they got to get ready. So they're probably getting like trailers and practicing the notes and everything. So they're probably just getting the stuff ready for that.
Yeah.
So they probably couldn't bring a lot here because they want to have a bang out show for E3.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad. I really wish that some of the indie games that they showed last year, I wish they would have showed up on at PAX. Like give more indie titles some coverage, just like Nintendo did at their booth.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was great. Like PAX was awesome. Listen to all of our other shows for like all the coverage. Like there's coverage everywhere on this week and early next week on NGR proper. I think I'm going to be on Nerds Gone Platinum this week to talk about the PlayStation stuff because I did check out Detroit Become Human. I checked out Super Meat Boy Forever. I checked out Chasm. Like there's PlayStation specific stuff that I checked out Code Vein, which was an interesting take on the Dark Souls formula. So I don't know yet. I haven't really talked to them, but I could be on there too this week. So yeah, I mean, I wish there was more Xbox stuff to talk about, but I mean, there wasn't much there. And what I did play was like, I wanted to make sure I got it because, I know we're not doing a full episode this week, but there's stuff worth talking about for Xbox, and what was there was exciting, so
yeah,
we'll see. But
I mean, it's good. It's good that you got to try out at least like State of Decay 2 and Below, and some of their other games because like Below, I haven't seen or heard much about it, and you just giving that description, I'm like, oh, this sounds really up my arsenal. In State of Decay 2. Instead of Decay 2, because I just got the first one and I haven't played like a zombie survival horror game, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of fun playing this game, but everybody's going to be working. Like this game's going to force me to talk.
Yeah, this game is like, it's meant to be kind of, you got to strategize with your friends, but it's going to end up being like stories you tell about this game. Similar to like, I mean, not too similar, but similar to what like what we did with Sea of Thieves, where like we all just kind of got on the boat and kind of like worked our way through it, and like the story is what we were doing on the boat, traveling to the location and coming back and learning how to run the boat. Where like when we play State of Decay 2, it's going to be us kind of traveling in a group, communicating with each other, but like the funny stuff is when like one of those the big fat zombies explodes on you and you have to start over from scratch because your character died, and fortifying a base and making sure the stories coming out of there about resources and just the funny things, maybe getting run over by a car, all those kind of things. So I think State of Decay is going to provide more interesting, funny moments if we're playing together. So
I'm being a driver.
Oh jeez,
my driving skills are good. Don't forget, Jesse be messing up when he drive us.
That's true. We've been playing a lot of Halo lately, and Jesse is the greatest driver ever. I'm just kidding, Jesse. We love you.
We love you, Jesse.
Learn how to drive a Warthog.
Right. Be ready for Halo 3.
Yeah. So.
But everybody, that is going to be Arsenal X. If you guys were at PAX and you also got to try some Xbox games, you can email us at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com. Want to hear your thoughts about it? Or are you interested in more coverage at things like this? We want to know. Hit us up. You can follow me on Twitter at thatretrocode. You can check out Optional Opinion on various podcast apps. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at CoreyinHD on Instagram and Twitter. I've been posting a lot of pictures of PAX and some videos up there as well. So check that out. You can find Ed and I both on Pow Block, where we go in depth on the Nintendo stuff from PAX this week. So check that out. And then NGR Radio, where you can watch us every Monday, and World 1 and all the other Let's Play stuff we do. So yeah.
And also check out the website, ngrradio.com. Follow us on Facebook at ArsenalX, like our page. Subscribe to NGR Radio YouTube page or Nerds Gone Rogue, where you guys can watch our live content and enjoy our discussions and the shenanigans that go on. Trust me, you're going to enjoy that Halo 4 one. Is it Halo? Was it Halo 4?
Yeah, we completed Halo 4. Today, well, as of this recording, today the finale went up. So
okay.
Yeah.
But Halo 5 is the no, we didn't start Halo. Did we do Halo 5?
We're doing Halo 3 right now.
Halo 3. Okay. Because the one you pushed me off was Halo 5, right?
4.
Okay, Halo 4.
We haven't done 5 yet. We're going to, but we just haven't done it. I think we're holding Halo 5 off until Halo 6 is announced, but
okay. So
yeah.
But everybody, that is Arsenal X podcast. As always, we throw out the X. Yes, because we're exiting out of here. Have a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Arsenal X podcast.
Peace. Bye, guys.